collets. Collets. I want to convert my 21 square meters container into a workshop. I have to mention that I have just finished the construction and I have nothing here. So, no electricity, no running water, no toilet, and also I don't have many tools at my disposal. That's why there will be a lot of improvisation here. So, what do you think? Not possible? Well, let's find out. This time, I will assemble Onefinity Elite CNC machine with PwnCNC spindle. In previous episode, I've made a table base for it. If you are interested, I will leave a link in the description box so you can check it out. Anyway, let's get to work, because I can't wait to see if machine will fit on table I build. And of course, if it survived the journey through the ocean. I will need some space to unbox this monstrosity. So the first thing to do is to remove all the weights and do a couple of sweeps to get rid of all the gravel that found its way into the container. The Onefinity Elite came in 5 packages. 4 long ones containing the rails, and a large one with the spindle holder, power supply and other accessories. Each package has its own number and weighs a lot. Producer claims that all packages together weighed over 100 kilos, which gives us about 20-25 kilos per package. This will be a struggle. I was wondering why my packages aren't branded with Onefinity logo. This logo was clearly visible on other YouTube unboxing videos. But to my relief, when I took off first layer of cardboard, logo revealed itself. Nice. In first 3 boxes, there are rails, plus additional stiffy on X-axis that I bought. One of the boxes is damaged. Man, I was super worried about package content at the time. But to my surprise, everything was fine. Thank goodness. On the last box, I destroyed my cardboard knife. What a timing. Well, who am I kidding? I'm still gonna use it anyway. In the last box we've got a stepper motors, power supply, cables and accessories. Ooh, and what's that? Box with my name on it. What do we have here? 2 dust boots I bought, but there's an envelope from Bits and Bits. I don't remember buying this. Did they get me a present? It's a 1/8 down cut drill. Cool. What else we've got? A spindle holder and test cut with dedication and my name. I like these little gestures from companies. Last but not least, a MASSO controller. I'm not gonna take it out from the box yet, but I will give you a little peek. Now, what I supposed to do with all that? Well, let's cut it into pieces. Time to mount rails to the table, so everything that's not rail related is out. What the hell is that? I look ridiculous. Like I have some kind of skin disease or something. Man, as presentable as always, I guess. These rails are so massive and heavy that I need to climb on the table to unwrap and adjust them. Now, how to place this X-rail on top of the other two? By myself. Decisions. See this? There's going to be a lot of that in this video. I didn't even realize how many times I just froze and had to think about what to do next. You know, back in the day, I used to overthink and plan every little detail in advance. But that changed when I learned that you actually can't plan everything. And no plan is ever perfect. Things just happen. That's why now I prefer to focus only on most crucial parts. The rest I just figure out on the go. Like now. What about you? Do you prefer to plan everything out? Or do you let yourself make mistakes and fix them when they happen? Yesterday I just placed X-rail on top because I had to leave. Today I start with installing a stiffy. I found out that to install stiffy you need to disassemble middle part. That's because you need to screw it into the X-rail head, and screws appear only after disassemble. For me, that was 40 minutes of my life. However, if you struggle how to do it, there is several good videos on YouTube which explains everything in detail. Good luck. To go on with Onefinity installation, I need to align rails by pushing X-rail to the furthest back. Front of Y rails are screwed into countertop and the back one are loose. This way, Y rails will straighten up itself. After that, I need to check diagonals, but oh, this is kinda nuts. I'm measuring the diagonals and they are just fine. 98.5 centimeters. 198, maybe 5 or 6 millimeters. And look, here is just the end. There is no more space left. Here on the other hand, we got a 1 centimeter, maybe even bigger space, bigger gap. 1 centimeter exactly. 1 centimeter exactly. Of course, I can force it a little bit, but it bounced back. So I think the rails are straightening themselves. And here is the same story. But here, on the other hand, it's not. It's about... This is the difference. I know it's 3 millimeters, something like that. That corner cannot be all the way to the back, and this corner cannot be placed all the way to the front, which proves that the diagonal should be messed up. But as you can see, they're fine. Probably something is not assembled the way it should be. Guys, I just find out what was the cause of the unaligned X-rails. And that was simply because I screwed all those 4 screws on the back and the front, and here also. But the second thing was this. This plug basically holds the rail and is screwed with these screws, and have a little gap here. Adds a little gap here. So when the rails go to the end, I know if you can see that. Yeah, right there. These gaps are only on this rail. On this, however, there's nothing. First, don't screw all the way, all the 4 screws. Screw just 1 to secure the rail so it won't fall off. And the second thing is disassembly this plug. As you can see, those gaps are gone now, and we can go all the way here. So no gap here and no gap here. So now when you have this set up, adjusted, now you can screw those screws and then move out the rail and assemble this plug again. Now the MASSO holder. Of course, I had to screw it in the wrong direction, so now I unscrew holder just to install it right this time. Sup guys, I have another tip for you. There is 2 sets of these screws. Those were pre-installed and they were on the other side, here and there. As you can see, they are a little bit shorter. Those black ones are shorter. You need to unmount these black screws and set them here because those screws here are not drilled. You cannot go all the way through those. So basically switch those screws, shorter one from the inside, and from the outside the longer one. When it comes to the homing sensor, here is the one on x-axis, which is this one, right? X-axis. So you need to mount it here. Let me just quickly screw it, and then when you move your spindle without spindle, right? And here is a little space in which, when you place them here, that little, I know, pointy thing need to goes all the way here, and then when it reach this sensor, the sensor is giving the signal to the controller and the motor will stop. Knowing how to install the sensors, it's time to do that. To plug and install motors, drag chain rail needs to be removed. That is because motors will be screwed in the same place with the same screws. Motors have some sort of configuration with switches. I didn't play with those and leave them as a default. Motors are connected via two cables, 2-pin power connector and 6-pin communication bus. Install the cover and we can move to the second motor. Now run the drag chain. Knowing what to do, third one is a piece of cake. Another day, and there is still so much to do. Let's unbox power supply. Before I hang and plug power supply, I feel like we should do a dust boot. What you say? You don't wanna? Well, that's too bad, I already recorded that. Dust boot is not a component included with Onefinity Elite machine. I ordered that specifically to use it with PwnCNC spindle. There is few adapters for different hoses and 2 dust boots. Both of them got magnets, which makes it easier to remove drill or swamp hoses. I need to admit that this dust boot design is very smart. There are several acrylic boards with different size of the hole that you can choose for your tool. That way drill can fit and operate freely. Also, front of black hose has magnet, which makes it easy to change the drill. Cool. This little horizontal brush fits hole in dust boot and can be cut to the length of both boot and removable magnet piece. What the hell is this? Look how convenient it is. Boots can be replaced fast and easy. That's what I like. And what do we got here? Nice and shiny box from PwnCNC. Let's look what's inside. A manual. 40 feet of silicon tube, spindle power cable, VFD cable. Skills? Haven't eaten them for ages. Thanks guys. Oh, the coolants connectors. These are awesome. 21mm wrench, 30mm wrench. A pen? Oh, it's a screwdriver with changeable beads. Cool. 3D printed VFD hanger, DC connector and cable holder, I guess. Power cord. That's a shame it's not in EU standard, but I will definitely use it someday because of the diameter. It has some serious girth. Spindle brain, aka pound controller, aka VFD. And of course, the spindle itself. And this is heavy as hell. I would say around 10 kilos. There is also 3 collets for different bits. I have purchased a pump for the liquid coolant. Well, it wasn't expensive, but the quality is so-so. The spindle and VFD is cool and stuff, but this Skittles.
This shot wasn't perfect. Let me take a second one. Here, maybe here. I will let them know how cool it is to eat Skittles by showing thumb up. Perfect. What the f*** am I doing?
Oh, a datasheet. And a sticker. And a sticker. Man, look at this cool sticker. This is a cool feature. You can take control panel out and place it somewhere else. You just need to use Ethernet cable for that. This 3D printed back piece fits perfectly well at the back of the VFD. Anyway, this is how you mount it. Now we can hang the VFD. I will probably hang it somewhere under the table. Let's place spindle in Z-axis mount. Just fasten 4 screws and we're good to go. You can adjust the height to your dustboot or drill. I will just leave it here for now. Power cable for the spindle got 4 pins, and it is much thicker than the second one for VFD. Inside the cable socket there is a little knob that will prevent you from plugging it in incorrectly, so don't brute force it. As you can see, the dustboot and spindle are not well aligned. I noticed earlier that there are 2 extenders for the dustboot arms. I used them to see if they would change anything. Unfortunately, they don't solve the problem entirely. I unscrewed the magnets from the sides of the dustboot and adjusted several times until the dustboot hole and spindle collet were aligned. Now they are perfectly aligned. Cool connectors. These are great. After installation on silicone tube, you can plug them in and out as you please without getting any liquid spilled. Let's connect the tubes to the spindle and move to the pump. I was searching for the proper tube connector in the kit, but I think the only one is this brass one that requires tightener ring. Of course, I don't have one here. Maybe let's put it aside for now. I need to mount VFD and Onefinity power supply under the table. And here's the plan. I got some OSB scrap lying around. That will be perfect surface to hang VFD and power supply on. It's not presentable at all, but I will hide it beneath the countertop and nobody will see it. So don't tell anyone. I already take measurements and start sawing. You know, when you don't have a power tool, you need to work it up with your muscles. OSB board will be mounted to the side of the stud. Then VFD together with power supply to the OSB. Now that VFD and power supply is installed, we can mount MASSO and connect motors and other equipment. Here's an idea. I have a plastic box for the electric components here. I will dump all of it into the bag and then I will fill the box with coolant. It's just a simple car radiator coolant. I will pour all 5 liters into the box and then submerge a pump into it. Oops, look what happened. I gave up the idea of unsecured plastic box with 5 liters of coolant. Instead, I bought a chiller. Better pump, better cooling, and it's secure. I have cleared up a bit and as you can see, plugged hoses, tubes, silicone tubes to the chiller, and now the moment of truth. Okay, 0. Okay, everything is plugged. Ooh. Okay, pump is working. Tubes are filled. Well, there is some sort of pressure. The pump is definitely better than the other. The pressure is just about enough for that system to work efficiently. Here is how I attach the tubes. I just squeeze that with that metal bands, and that's about it, I think. As you can see, I have here 1/8 collets. You have a clamping here, which I took from the spindle. I just unscrew it, and in that clamping you need to place the collet. Right now I will be using 1/8 of an inch, right? This way. But actually it's the opposite. Here is a curved ring in the collet that needs to be placed inside of the clamping, like this, and you should hear a little click, and there it is. And now the collet is moving freely here because you need to place a bit inside, and then when you screw it to the spindle, it will tighten. And now for the fun part. First for the clamping, second for the spindle head. Okay, I'm using a little bit force. I know how much force should I use. Probably not too much, not too little either. Lastly, let's test if everything works as it should. Okay, something is blinking. I have double checked, and that switch button basically tells the VFD to put the spindle in manual mode and control it from the controller here. So I will do that right now, and I will show you the results. Manual, and the run, that dial should control the rotations of the spindle. So let's turn it up. And it is working, ladies and gentlemen. I am very pleased. I'm decreasing speed. 500, 2000, 4000, 6000, 8, 10,000, 14,000. Okay, nothing is heating up, and let's move on to the next test, which is basically moving the machine from the MASSO controller. So okay, something's working. I just need to release the emergency button, and that is just a safety feature according to the official Onefinity documentation. So let me just release it. Let's now double click the home button. As you can see, dashboard arm is barely touching the Y-axis rail foot. For now, I will mount it higher. Okay. Alright, sensor worked. I choose the continuous mode. I increased the fit to 10%. And now, as you can see, if I touch the screen, MASSO is moving. Spindle is moving. Okay, I will go. Finally, we can see the Onefinity in action. Also, you can get a glimpse of what I will show you next. Stay tuned. Tell me what you think. What would you do differently? Or maybe you wouldn't change a thing. Share your thoughts in the comment section. I'm very curious of them. If you like this kind of content, leave a thumb up under the video. If you want to see more of what I do, subscribe this channel. Thanks for watching.